Working on your key terms, you want to think about the structure of your entire argument. So, what are the terms that are absolutely key for your reader to understand where you're going? So, if I come down and I look at the key terms in the model, you can see here that I've introduced it so my reader knows what's coming. And this is the section of your paper where you might have a quote in almost every sentence, and it's going to be the heaviest part because what you're going to do is compare at least two different definitions before stipulating which one you want to use for your paper. So this is going to be about an overarching concept that is key to everything you're talking about. For my paper, that is high stakes testing. So I start out giving a couple of different definitions from an organization. I give their definition of high stakes, and then I explain it. And then the second round of terms that I use are democracy and social justice. And again, I look at a credible argument. Then I look at another credible source that's going to be really solid. But then I also looked at Webster's and Wikipedia when I went to look at social justice. And the reason I could hit Wikipedia is that I did not feel, I've already showed, I did my homework. This is what Webster's did. It's not good enough. So then I went to Wikipedia's and gave them Wikipedia's definition, and I justified why that definition was better. This is the one time when you can get away with a less credible source, because as the writer, you can stipulate what definition you are using for your argument. But you have to have shown that you did your homework and it's a credible source first. So that's the piece you're going to write today at Starbucks that you're going to want to insert. We're not going to be using it yet, but this can count as your neutral section of your paper when we move to paper 3. And it can go with or before your history, or it can replace your history, depending on which one you did a better job on. There are two other ways that you can also insert a definition. So one is what I call a hit and run definition, where you've given the term, so here it's democratic leadership, and then I've quickly, in less than a sentence, given a quick explanation. This is what it is, and then I have my citation of where I pulled that, and then I continue. The point of this is to define a term that's important for that piece of your argument, but you don't need, it's not important to your whole overarching paper. It's only important for that tiny piece. You don't want to interrupt the flow of the reader reading and following your argument. The second way you can do it, I'm going to switch to print layout so we can do this. The second way that you can define a term is to use footnotes. I'm scrolling down really quick, and obviously until I find it. So what happened is, as I was moving through my argument, so the fourth negative impact is the destruction of cultural awareness. And I went up here and I went insert, footnotes. And by doing that, it created a footnote down here where I could just plug in a sentence explaining it. As you see, it is a sentence. It's not a very complex sentence, but it is a sentence, and most of the sentence is giving the definition. So that's another way you can do it. If the definition is more complicated and you can't do a quick hit and run, but you don't want to spend time thinking about how to insert it, and you just want to do a quick footnote. For this paper, you want to have one of each type of definition. So you want to be able to do an analysis for a key term. You want to be able to use a footnoted key term correctly, and you want to do at least one hit and run somewhere throughout your paper just to practice these 3 skills. Wishing you luck. Looking forward to seeing your attempts next week.